Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoyed these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. If you love this watch, and I do, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a wonderful pilot's watch. And it is not just a pilot's watch, it is an astronaut's watch. It's an all-around timekeeper with a remarkable in-house movement. This is the Sinn 140 ST Space Chronograph. 44 millimeters in Tegiment steel. It's a timepiece that wears easily with its cushion profile localist case on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. Now this is a timepiece that is essentially the latest in a long line of 140 series that back in 1985 actually flew on the first German Space Lab mission and flew again with German astronauts to Mir in 1992. And on and off this has had a continuous relationship with German astronauts and the German space program. So it's a watch that flies high, higher than most pilots in fact, but is wonderful if you're an armchair aviator like me because of the way it works, fits, and reads. Okay, on the wrist, 44 millimeters in diameter, 15.4 millimeters in thickness, and because it's lugless, it is very short cropped across the wrist, only 45.2 millimeters, and thus wearable on a wrist I would even say as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. The spacing between the lugs is a 22 millimeter spacing, so it's nice and broad. It's well proportioned case to lug to strap. The strap itself feels wonderfully overbuilt. It's leather on top of leather, and as you can see, it's a double stitch, one contrasting in white, one in black. There's leather folded over the top, there's leather on the underside. You can see that the strap itself is a brand new Sinn factory strap, and the attention to detail is exquisite, with a little red retention loop in elastic that's designed to keep the minder loop adjacent to the buckle so you can easily find it and secure it if you're strapping your watch on in an instant. The bolstering means this is a thick piece of leather, and thus very sturdy and long wearing, but because Sinn cuts a sort of revetment or garage into the flank of the case, it is both highly integrated with no daylight showing through and easy to move the strap as there's no impediment or constraint to its motion. It can pull straight down around a small wrist, making that 45 millimeter lug-to-lug dimension true. It actually wears that way. Now the timepiece features a number of Sinn refinements, including Tegiment, which on this blasted finish case means that you effectively have carbon diffusion throughout the steel. This is a penetrating treatment that isn't just a surface treatment. It's not straight through the metal like Damasco ice hardening, but it is a thick surface coating that seeps into the metal and endows it with hardness of over 1200 Vickers, which in many ways is compatible with most ceramic hardness. It's comparable to that level, and it does remarkably resist scratches and scuffs. I've got my now year-old EZM11 handy, and you can see there isn't a mark on this watch. Tegiment works, and unless you're going to do something seriously traumatic to dent the case, like smash it against a hammer, it's probably going to remain effectively unmarred for the entirety of your relationship with the watch. The matte finish is excellent. The blasted finish allows it to resist glare resolutely, and you can see that the crown externally allows you to manipulate the internal rotating bezel. Now the internal rotating bezel is a wonderful secondary timing organ. If you want to line up the hour hand, for example, with the bezel, you can certainly do that. You can line up the minute hand. It has a chronograph that's based on the SZ01 caliber. My EZM11 has it. It is a re-engineered 7750 that's made in-house by Sinn. They do all the engineering to create that jumping minutes, 60 minutes radial register. And it is a true jump minute, 60 minute, rather than a standard sub-register 30 minute 7750 display. The idea is that it is maximally easy to read seconds and minutes directly off the radial scale rather than a sub-register. It's also useful because the standard 7750 only gives you a 30-minute register. Now it has other advantages, but this is a wonderful way to provide manufacturer watchmaking, a more legible chronograph, a more useful chronograph, and still give you a tank-tough base movement. Now the watch features a matte black dial that's highly glare resistant and has excellent depth, as you can see. There is a date with a quick set. There is a stop seconds function, as you could see. There is also a movement inside that retains the underlying virtues of the 7750. A 44-hour power reserve, unidirectional automatic winding that's highly efficient, the stop seconds, the quick set date. It beats a modern beat rate of 28,800 vibrations per hour, and though it is a pilot's watch, it's water resistant down to 100 meters. You can see the note Tegiment on the outside, and if we get close, you could see that it says the first German Space Lab mission, and then you have the automatic chronograph in space. And you have the image of Space Lab Mission 1 with the space shuttle bay open, and a little nod to both international and German spacefaring history. And it's also important to note that the watch features a dehumidifying mechanism. It is nitrogen filled from the factory. This little AR logo means once upon a time, these would have been argon filled. Now it's nitrogen. It's noble gas. It helps to exclude moisture and incursion of exterior gases. But if anything does get in, there's a removable and replaceable copper sulfate capsule in the flank of the watch that will actively remove moisture from the interior. And when this turns blue, you know that it's time to replace it. This is a remarkably techy watch and a very cool one. A 28 jewel movement of Sinn's own manufacture, the signature 140 case, a great spacefaring history. Utility, whether you're a flyer or simply an armchair aviator like yours truly, this is a timepiece that everyone can love, even on a small wrist. See it and take off on the watch box. And we're back with the Sinn 140 ST. Plenty of lume by night.